What's going on, Raider Nation? This was terrible. This loss, yeah, I did not watch it live. I was a little too far away. Obviously, I'm out of the market. There was another game on TV in my case, and I I could only watch so much. That my computer's not reliable. All that streaming stuff you talk about, I mean, it's just not reliable enough. So I was only able to watch as much tape as I could. But they got owned. I thought there was a lethargic game that came out flat. But really, I think this game was more reflective of how great Adrian Peterson still is, despite all the issues last year and all the all the stuff that happened. I mean, he served his time. We have to forgive him, and he kicked our ass. So, congrats to everyone who had him on your fantasy team. Now, Teddy Bridgewater was okay. He wasn't great, but he didn't make the big mistakes like Derek Carr did. Now, I think this game also was more reflective of just the Vikings as a team. I know week one they had a weird hiccup, but week one is always full of weird stuff. Teams usually adjust, and I think they might have just found a blueprint on how to beat the Raiders, and that's just be physical up front, really be physical up front, and they can kick ass. If teams that kind of get laid back, maybe Carr finds an open window, but if you're a physical team up front, this team is not going to be winning a lot of games. The offense was obviously shut down. Defense kind of got lucky. Maybe they could have allowed a lot more points, but of course, in the end, that 80-yard run sums it up. I mean, really, you kind of deserve to allow that touchdown when you throw a pick in the end zone. I mean, even if they score there, I don't think it matters. They probably would not have gotten a stop anyways, and they would have just run out the clock. So they would have lost by 2 points. Was it 23-21, even if Carr gets a touchdown there? But yeah, they made them look silly. And I'm still thinking this team, I'm not giving up yet. It's easy to say after a game like this it's over. But if they go out to Detroit and they're just flat again and they play the same way, yeah, I would say kiss this season goodbye. I do not think it's just bad you're going to go through games like this. Detroit, despite their record, they have been showing up in games, and they have a good defensive coordinator in Terrell Austin. So it's going to be a dogfight. If they don't win that game in Detroit and they're just flat and they get owned by those guys defensively, yeah, the season's going to be over. 4-6. I know people are going to be obsessed with the scoreboard watching, and here's the thing with scoreboard watching, guys. It doesn't mean anything if the Raiders don't win. Plain and simple. I'm not going to pay attention too much to the rest of the league in terms of just the word playoffs. You got to get that out of your mind, at least for now. You know, maybe if it's week 16, week 17, it might matter more. But right now, the Raiders got to win games. None of this backed in stuff or getting lucky because other teams lost. This team didn't show up against the Vikings, and yeah, I said the Vikings are a good team. You know, Mike Zimmer is a good coach. People forget what he did, where he was before, and that's the Bengals. He was responsible for the development of a lot of linebackers. Pretty good secondary. They've been a good defensive team, starting with him, who laid the foundation. So he's taken that over to Minnesota. That was a very good hire a couple of years ago, and there's a pulse there. I don't know much about Bridgewater, and I'm not going to say he's good or bad, but he has shown some flashes I've seen. You still got a running game, and they ran it down our throats. I mean, sure, the passing game, they didn't have to pass on us because they ran it down the throats. I could just see Calvin Johnson or someone on the Lions roast the secondary next week. I hope that doesn't happen. But, yeah, I don't like the Lions. People know that. If anyone's paid attention to my Twitter and paid attention to how I am, I really dislike Matt Stafford and the Lions of all random teams. So it would hurt if they lose next week, not just because of a loss, but because of, personally, I'm not into the Lions. If there's any thoughts on this game, just let me know. But I think there's a blueprint on how to beat the Raiders. And, through a whole season, teams get film and game plan, and they get the film study this. And Zimmer's coaching staff did just that. Unfortunately, it is one of those games. If every close game went the Raiders' way, they'd be in the contention for a playoff spot. Right now, though, they look like a 7-9, 6-10 type of team. I don't think they're going to lose the rest of their games, but they're definitely not going to be. They're not going to be winning a lot if they play the way they did on Sunday. So we'll see you guys later. Let me know what y'all think. Yeah, a little bit back to earth. It just kind of sucks, but you can only hope that you can rebound the week after because you're going to have these kinds of games against good teams. See you guys later.